The storm had come without warning, as they always did on Caryax 7. One moment, Rhea had been mapping the western ridge, and the next, the sky had turned the color of bruised flesh, spitting ice and fury. The wind howled like a wounded beast, and visibility dropped to nothing. She'd stumbled through the gale, her environmental suit's displays flickering, her comms dead from electromagnetic interference. That's when she heard them, high-pitched keening that cut through even the storm's rage. Rhea found them huddled in a shallow cave. 4 Caryax cubs, their midnight blue fur matted with freezing rain, their 6 eyes wide with terror. They were stalkers, apex predators of this world with retractable claws and triple rows of serrated teeth. Adults could tear through reinforced steel. These cubs, barely the size of earth wolves, trembled and mewled. She should have kept walking. Protocol dictated minimal interference with native species, especially predators. But Rhea had never been good at following protocol when something was suffering. "Hey, it's okay," she murmured, approaching slowly. The cubs scattered backward, hissing, but didn't run. They had nowhere else to go. The smallest one, she'd later name him Vec, stayed closest, his pale eyes fixed on her with something between fear and desperate hope. Rhea assessed the situation with the practiced efficiency that had kept her alive through 3 frontier tours. The cave was shallow, offering minimal protection. The cubs were hypothermic, their body heat leaching into the frozen stone. Without intervention, they wouldn't survive the night. She made her decision in heartbeats. Working quickly, Rhea activated her suit's thermal generator, cranking it to maximum output. She gathered deadwood from the cave entrance, using her plasma cutter on minimal setting to ignite a small fire. The cubs watched, transfixed by the flames. Fire was rare on this ice-locked world. "Come on, little ones," she coaxed, sitting cross-legged near the fire. "It's warm. I won't hurt you." Minutes passed. Then Vec, the brave one, crept forward. His nose twitched, scenting her through his thermal pits. Rhea remained perfectly still as he approached, letting him investigate. When his small body pressed against her leg, seeking warmth, she felt something in her chest constrict. The others followed, emboldened by Vec's courage. Soon all 4 cubs were pressed against her, their purring, a sound like grinding gears vibrating through her bones. Rhea wrapped her thermal blanket around them, creating a cocoon of warmth. The storm raged for 2 days. During that time, Rhea learned things no xenobiologist had ever documented. She learned that Caryax cubs played, tumbling over each other with mock ferocity. She learned they were curious, investigating every piece of her equipment with delicate claws. She learned they were intelligent, watching her every move with keen interest as she rationed her emergency supplies. Vec never left her side. He was her shadow, her guardian, positioning himself between her and any perceived threats, including his own siblings when they got too rough. When her water purifier malfunctioned, he watched intently as she repaired it, his head tilting in what she could only interpret as understanding. She told them stories as the wind screamed outside, about Earth, about humanity's journey to the stars, about why she'd come to this frozen world. The cubs didn't understand her words, but they understood her tone, the warmth in it, the companionship. They'd curl tighter against her, their combined body heat keeping hypothermia at bay. On the 3rd morning, the storm broke. Rhea emerged to find the world transformed into a crystal wasteland. Her suit's distress beacon was still offline, her position unknown. But the cubs were alive, their eyes bright with mischief rather than terror. "Time to find your family," she said, though the words ached. She'd grown attached, despite herself. She didn't have to search long. The elite guard found her first. Commander Thexral materialized from the ice fields like a nightmare given form. 3 meters of armored muscle, weapons primed, his pack of 12 warriors spreading in perfect tactical formation. Caryax adults trained for war, bred for hunting. Their plasma rifles tracked Rhea with lethal precision. "Human," Thexral growled in broken standard, his translator crackling. "You have cubs of High Matriarch Creessa. Explain before execution." Rhea raised her hand slowly, heart hammering. But before she could speak, Vec darted forward, placing himself between her and the commander. The cub's defensive posture was comical given the size difference, but unmistakable in its intent. The other cubs joined him, forming a protective semicircle. They hissed at their own kind, defending the strange alien who had saved them. Thexral froze. His soldiers exchanged confused glances. In Kariak's culture, cubs showed loyalty only to proven pack. What they were witnessing was unprecedented. Slowly, Rhea explained. The storm, the cave, the choice. She showed him her depleted supplies, her damaged equipment, the fire ring she'd maintained. As she spoke, Vec pressed against her leg, and she absently stroked his head, a gesture that made several guards hiss in surprise. When she finished, silence stretched like razor wire. Then Thexerl did something extraordinary. He lowered his weapon. He approached Rhea, towering over her, and extended his clawed hand in the human gesture of greeting he'd learned from cultural databases. You chose their lives over your safety, he said, his translator clearer now, as if he was choosing his words carefully. You gave warmth when you had little. You gave protection when you were vulnerable. This is honorable. He looked at the cubs, at Vec especially, and something shifted in his fierce eyes. Among my people there is a saying, the pack is forged in storm. You did not birth these cubs, human Rhea, but you earned them. I was just doing what anyone— No. Thexeral's voice was firm. Not anyone. We searched 3 days. Many would have passed by. Many would have prioritized survival over compassion. You did not. He gestured to his soldiers. Secure her equipment. We returned to the settlement. As they walked through the frozen landscape, cubs tumbling around her feet and elite warriors flanking her like an honor guard, Rhea realized the truth. She hadn't just survived a storm. She'd crossed a bridge between species, built on nothing more than a campfire and the desperate hope that kindness transcended biology. Vec looked up at her, his pale eyes gleaming, and in their depths she saw something that made her smile. Recognition. Not human, not Kariak's, but something universal. Family. Behind them, smoke from the dead campfire rose into the clearing sky, a marker of where fear had ended and trust had begun. The elite guard had come seeking lost cubs and found something unexpected. Proof that home wasn't a place or a species. It was a choice made in darkness. A fire built in storm and the stubborn insistence that life, all life mattered, even when protocol said otherwise.